Everybody, it's Steph from the Hot Moving Podcast. So, Paul Finebaum, he's been a strong supporter of Deion, then a strong critic of Deion, then a strong supporter of Deion, and the circle just keeps going round and round and round with Mr. Finebaum. I mean, at this point, I think people really don't care what he has to say. But, I mean, he is what he calls himself, the mouth of the South, and he's on a big platform. So whenever he says anything about Deion Sanders, it's going to gain some traction. And in this case, he says something on Get Up Day rather odd. I'm not going to play the vid because I just really have just a quick quote for what he has to say. Basically, he says that Deion Sanders is going to the Cowboys. It makes more sense with the Cowboys really than it even did at Colorado because in some ways it's an easier job, Finebaum said. I know that sounds ridiculous. You damn right that sounds absolutely crazy that we're going to get into. But what he's had to do to overcome at Colorado to get them in a situation where we're talking about them a conference champion or maybe even a college football playoff entrant is really spectacular and one of the craziest stories I've ever seen. Okay, man. Look, Deion Sanders, like I've said before, has done his job at Colorado. Yes, I have been strongly supportive of when he started. Then I was critical of him towards the end of last season and a little critical of him early on, just because of just a lot of the talking and I didn't really see the X's and O's translating really well. And he has shut me up, and I've gone to give him his flowers. And Deion has done a job well done, regardless of how the rest of the season goes. Now, the talk has been now getting steam. If Deion Sanders would want to coach the Dallas Cowboys, why on earth would he want to take that job? Okay, the metrics of winning in the NFL is different than the metrics, obviously, than in college football. Okay, and on top of that too, I mean, look, man, does Deion really want to work with Jerry Jones? Does he really want Dak Prescott as his quarterback? Okay, will grown men getting paid galvanize to take Deion's message, right? Because a lot of it is, look, I'm sure NFL players will respect Deion because he's played and won at the highest level, okay? But, you know, these are still grown men making millions of dollars that are really going to buy into Deion Sanders. As opposed to college, yeah, there's kids with NIL money and stuff like that. But, I mean, look, Deion, people will want to go play for Deion Sanders in college because he's been there and done that on the pro level and can tell you what to do, instill the values of what to do and how to be a pro or how to, you know, the path towards becoming a professional football player. Okay, Deion can do that. He can have more leverage coaching young men in college. I think Deion Sanders is more suited for college football than the NFL. And then not only the NFL, I'm not saying that Deion wouldn't be able to do it, but I just think Deion should definitely not take this Cowboys job. And for Paul Finebaum to think it would be easier, how would coaching number one, the quote unquote America's number one team, okay, and then you have Jerry Jones, who's an absolute control freak, and makes damn near every single executive decision, in terms of how the ball club is ran. Okay, would Jerry Jones relinquish some of that power to Deion, a guy that's helped him win championships? I mean, if anybody has any cachet, everybody says, "Oh, Deion would have it," but would Deion really have it though? You know what I'm saying? I mean, it would be Jerry Jones and the Cowboys are already a circus. Adding Deion Sanders to the mix would make it a bigger circus. You know, could he give that initial spark? Sure, but then it gets real. The NFL, the system is built for parity. Okay, the salary cap constraints, draft picks, all those things is different than college football, than the NIL transfer portal. Just so many different hurdles that I feel like he would have to navigate in the NFL to be successful a lot more than he would in college. Okay, not that he can't do it. I'm sure Deion, if the opportunity came up, would he take it? Who knows? It would be, I mean, look, if it became vacant and Jerry Jones wants Deion to interview for the job, then sure, I think Deion probably would entertain it and most likely take the job. I know he's been asked a question directly about, you know, he's fine at where he is in Colorado. I just don't see him staying at Colorado, honestly, after this season. It would be very hard to see him stay at Colorado after this season, considering the amount of talent that is about to get drained to the NFL draft, right? So I don't know if Paul Finebaum is being dead serious or he's been made a fool of Deion so much that he hopes that he gets out of college football and goes to the NFL, right? Or he is setting Deion up for failure, right? Who knows what Paul Finebaum's motive is saying that is easier. There's nothing easier about pro sports compared to amateurs. It's just not. The money, the contracts, player personnel, player management, roster management, ownership. There's just so much more that goes into being the head coach and dealing with so many people for a common goal, and you got to be clicking on all cylinders to be successful. Yet alone the Dallas Cowboys, where if the job becomes vacant, is it really that illustrious of a job anymore, right? Knowing that you're not going to have any control going over there, right? That's what it is. And Deion Sanders, I think I've said this before, after this season, I mean, he might want to stay in this. He might want to go back to the South. People have mentioned Florida State. Who knows if one of these big SEC schools may open up. It's very possible. And Deion could make a lot more money in college football than in the NFL. So if Deion's goal, and listen, he's not going to coach his son. The Cowboys are not going to take Shedeur Sanders. Like, we know, that's just not going to happen. Dak is on that contract. That whole talk of Shedeur going to Dallas, I don't know where that idea is coming from when Dak just signed a massive contract that they're going to have to eat for the foreseeable future, So, Deion to the NFL, maybe not the Cowboys, but I feel like Deion Sanders, his impact, and it seemed like his calling is more so for college football. So the real question is, which big D1 program in the South is going to open up the checkbook if Colorado ain't going to open up the checkbook right now? Y'all let me know what y'all think about all this, man. Thanks for watching. Please like, subscribe. I'm out.